Welcome to our Leaders Like Us campaign of interviews with our mentors as part of the overall vision for our development program. This is a great opportunity to share their corporate career stories, tips and hints with all our mentees and young people across the country. We'd like to help young people of all backgrounds feel inspired to succeed, gain insights and access to a diverse set of corporate leaders that they feel they can relate to. This interview is with a consultant based at the NHS Northwick Park Hospital in London. The NHS is the UK's national health service and one of the most remarkable achievements Britain should continue to be proud of. The NHS medical and healthcare services are provided free at the point of use to UK residents. A highly complex organisation in every sense, the NHS employs around 1.5 million people across the UK. Comparing this to other public sector employers in the UK, the British Army is the next biggest employer with 125,000 people, and the Department for Work and Pensions employs around 111,000 people. It's important to note that there are medical and a variety of non-medical roles available in the NHS for many of the young people passionate about the NHS, healthcare sector, and helping and looking after others. Laith Al-Rubai is a consultant and is one of our charity's mentors. And here he tells us about his career journey. His migration story is an exemplary one, showing that with talent, hard work, and a positive attitude, we can contribute so much to the society that we are part of. Leith, thank you. Welcome to our Leaders Like Us campaign of interviews with our charity's mentors. I am eternally grateful that you are supporting our charity, particularly as a medical doctor, because many of our young mentees want to study medicine, so your insights and sharing your experiences is hugely valuable to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much for asking me to talk. I'm very pleased that I'll be able to inspire future generation of immigrants. It's a nice thing to be in this great country with opportunities.
Thank you, Leith. So tell me a little bit about how your career started as a doctor.
So I'm originally from Iraq, from Basra, which is a southern part of Iraq. Finished my medical school in 2003. I got a scholarship to go to the States and then another scholarship to come here. So when I left, it was around 2004, just after the Gulf War. And then life took me over and continued with my career here and started my junior medical training in the United Kingdom, and then until now I'm a consultant in St. Mark's Hospital.
Wonderful. We hear a lot about junior doctors and what a tough career it is, really challenging with long hours, under pressure. What did that feel like to be a junior doctor?
I think the challenges on the top of that is being from outside the United Kingdom and having to work here. So it's very challenging job. But I have to say you get self-satisfaction by helping others, by curing people and being able to provide some sort of care to someone who needs it. For me it was difficult, because it's a different country, different language, different culture, and I have to deal with that as well as deal with the demanding job being trained as a junior doctor. But I mean, determination and persistence is what will take someone to their destination. And I'm pleased to say that I've completed, and in 2017 I was chosen the Young Gastroenterologist of the Year in the UK, which is one of the
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's a big title, and I think it's all because of the group I work with and all the team I work with, and multidisciplinary team. It's always good to collaborate and network with people.
And that's one of the greatest things about the NHS, the technical competence as well as the care from the doctors and the nurses. And you stayed in an NHS hospital once you went through your training. What are the fundamental reasons for that?
I think the NHS is a great example to follow. It's provide the best quality of care based on the strongest evidence in the literature, free for the public at the point of care. Having lived in the States and lived in other countries, the NHS model is a great model to follow, and I'm very passionate about the NHS, and I wish other countries will follow the experience of the NHS in the UK.
Absolutely. And what is your current role like? What is your, I wouldn't dare say typical day, but what are some of the challenges that you face in your role today?
So currently I work as a consultant gastroenterologist and hepatologist, which is basically dealing with the digestive tract from the mouth to the colon, plus the liver and the pancreas. It's a multidisciplinary specialty. We've got a combination of theoretical aspect of medicine, plus the technical skills, because doing the endoscopy or camera test is also very entertaining or sometimes challenging to deal with. Typical day varies during the week, so we've got sessions where we do administrative work, we've got endoscopy sessions, we've got outpatient clinics. I see the more senior you become, the more involved you become with the managerial role, administrative, and less you have contact with patients. And the more senior you become, the more input you'll be asked to give in issues related to the hospital.
I think that's a really important point. I think in every technical field, whether it is finance, medicine, engineering, there comes a point where you make a decision. If I want to move up the organization into a leadership role, I do less of the technical work.
Exactly.
What has that decision been like for you?
So I have to say, sometimes it's not easy to take a decision, but as long as the decision is based on knowledge, experience, and I find consultation with other colleagues very important. And at the end of the day, everyone's trying to do their best to help patients, help the NHS organization. And I have to say, it's been a good experience, very rewarding experience so far.
Fantastic. And Leif, as you know, many of the mentees that we work with in our charity come from backgrounds who may not have professional role models around them. And indeed, despite the fantastic efforts and the high quality of the schools they go to, the schools may not have everything that they need in order to get these kids into medical school. What would your words of wisdom and tips be for a talented young mentee who is determined to get into medical school, even though no one around them ever has?
I think the role model plays an important part of anyone's career. And the role model, if you don't find a role model around you, I think NHS is full of immigrant doctors. I'm one of them. You just need to connect with people and look out for people, and it's good to be different sometimes. I think our difference is our strength, and I would encourage people to build on their experience, build on their skills, and be proud that they belong to a different culture, and that'll be the key of success, to be determined and persistent to achieve what they want to do.
Absolutely. And in your career, you've achieved much already, scholarships in your studies, achievements in your role as a consultant in your field. What comes next in such a career?
I have to say that, thanks to the support I had from my colleagues, my parents, and my family, I wouldn't be able to achieve these things. The next will be to build on what I have achieved so far, pass the knowledge and the skills to the younger generation and inspire them to be able to do the same, and hopefully be a role model that we're looking for. No one is perfect, but I think everyone's trying to do their best to help their colleagues and their peers.
Absolutely. I have to raise a subject. I find that as I have interviewed our applicants, the mentees who want to enter our Migrant Leaders Development Program, some of them are passionate about healthcare. They are passionate about the NHS in particular. They would like to help people. But their science background, the grades that they have achieved, in some cases falls far short of what they need in order to get into medicine. For such a candidate, are there other jobs and other fields that they can work in within the NHS?
Yeah, I mean, a doctor is only one part, possibly not the only part in the NHS. There's a lot of health-allied professions we have in the NHS, pharmacists, technicians, IT. I feel IT is a way forward for the NHS. And those who want to be involved in the NHS, the future NHS, I think IT will give a good platform because everything is digitalized now. We're looking for ways to monitor patients while they're in the community and being able to communicate with patients through the emails and the IT infrastructure. Other jobs such as lab-based job, managerial, the managers here, they don't necessarily have a medical background, but they've got degree in management and business administration. I remember NHS is like any business model, they look for businessmen and businesswomen to lead the organization. So there's a lot of opportunities in the NHS, and the NHS is open and multi-diverse in any aspect.
And would those young people entering such a career in the NHS, or perhaps having got their training elsewhere in the corporates, in other technical fields, and then enter the NHS later, would they be able to really impact the objectives of the NHS?
Yeah, I think, again, it's very good to have an outside experience to bring to the NHS. The only way I see forward for the NHS to survive and to maintain its excellence is by incorporating talents from outside the NHS. So there's a lot of business models which were very successful in the UK, and it's very good to adopt those talents from outside to feed into the NHS based on their experience. And I think being open and multidisciplinary is a key strength of the NHS, and I would encourage everyone to be involved in the NHS career.
And what about bringing private sector experience? Would such candidates need to have only public sector experience, or would the NHS benefit from some private sector experience in those fields as well?
Again, it's a transferable skill. Management, business skills, medical or non-medical skills, they are very transferable. And I think private sector is very important because it's very competitive, and to survive in the private sector you have to be on top of things before being able to survive. So I'm sure there will be high achievers in the private sectors, and the NHS will welcome those talents to come on board.
Wonderful. And Leif, you've talked about the wonderful multidisciplinary team of colleagues that you work with. You have talked about the environment. What are some of the key challenges that you face, and how do you overcome them?
So I think the challenge is different during the stage of my career. When I first started, the big challenge was the cultural differences, the language, the people here. I mean, I've been abroad all my life, and I left when I was 25. So it took me some time to adapt to the culture and be able to communicate with people. And then as I carried on with my career, the next challenge was to pass the exams and make sure I'd be on top of my clinical knowledge to be able to progress from year after year. And again, I think what will be very helpful to everyone is to set a goal. The goal will be different throughout the career, and then work hard to achieve that goal. And I think it's not luck. I've never been lucky, I would say. It's always persistence and hard working is what will achieve the goals. And adaptability is a very important skill, that people have to adapt with the situations. They should be ready to relocate, they should be ready to change their goals a little bit to adopt with the culture.
So messages for our young people of determination, persistent hard work, and adaptability to take on the opportunities that come about. Before we end the interview, are there any last tips and hints that you might have for a young mentee, a typical 16, 17, 18-year-old who wants to study medicine?
I think medicine is a great choice. It's a hard job, but it's very rewarding. It's a long training pathway, but again, it's worth every year you invest in medicine. The joy and the happiness of helping someone, being able to provide the care for someone who needs, is difficult to be described. And also remember, we have to remember our roots. It's very good to give back to the countries where we came from, and being able to transfer some of the skills that we have learned here in this great country to help others who are, I would say, possibly didn't have the opportunities that we had to come here. It's a great achievement. So stick to your choice of studying medicine. Proud to be different. Difference is what makes this country is great. And always don't forget your roots and pay back to where you come from, or just inspire other generation to follow your pathway.
What uplifting and practical, pragmatic sentiments to end the interview with. Thank you once again, Leith, for your support of our charity and for this interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the charity, and thank you for coming for the interview.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Cheers.